Who needs a DeLorean when you have super speed? By the way, my mind is blown after this episode. Hey everybody, this is David, and today I'm going to be talking about The Flash, Season 1, Episode 15, Out of Time. And what can I say about this terrific episode, man? Okay, let's get into the details about some of these things. What did I like, what I didn't like? Let's get into it all. So first, we have the beginning of the episode opening up with Barry going out on a date with Linda, and they run into Iris and Eddie, who are also on a date, coincidentally, at the bowling alley that Barry decided to take Linda to. And okay, that was fine, I guess, and it kind of had me rolling my eyes because, you know, Iris clearly is trying to stir shit up. You know, I hate when characters... Iris is reminding me of Lana right now from Smallville. And I hated Lana because she always had these feelings for Clark, but never, you know, she always friend-zoned him. And this is what Iris is doing. And she's friend-zoning Barry, but, oh, she doesn't want to be with him. She wants to be with Eddie. But she is showing feelings there. Like, she wants to hold Barry in her pocket just in case things don't work out with Eddie. No, that's not how things work. Okay, Iris? First of all, if you like somebody, you tell them, and you dump the guy who you don't really like. You know, you don't just keep, oh yeah, well, he's hotter, so I'm gonna bang him and hold this one until I'm ready. No. So, that aside, we also get some Mark Martin, who is the brother of Clyde Martin, comes and gets revenge on Joe for killing his brother in the very first episode of The Flash. And Mark Martin just has, you know, powers to control the weather and nature, I guess, just like his brother did, and goes after Joe and tries to kill him to get revenge. And Joe will do anything to protect Barry and Iris and anyone else that tries to protect him instead, because Joe is badass. What can I say? He is. I love Joe. I think he is a great character, and I really hope they never kill this character off. I think he is very useful for the future down the road, and yeah, Joe is just badass. That's all I can say. Also, we have Iris's, you know, news reporter buddy. I forgot his name now, but he wants Iris to investigate Wells. Now, this is where the juicy stuff starts to come in, because I'll admit, the first half hour of the episode, I wasn't, you know, feeling it right away. I was saying to myself, this is going to be an average episode. But as Barry, Cisco, and Caitlin start to become more suspicious of Wells, this is the juicy stuff about the episode. And so Cisco decides to, you know, he remembers that Joe suspected Wells of being involved with Barry's mother's murder. So Cisco decides to do a little searching on the night that, you know, the Reverse Flash showed up. And holy shit, this is when the shit hits the fan, or the fan hits the shit, whatever you want to say. This is when shit goes down. And Cisco finds out that Wells had a Reverse Flash duplicate that he can create. Like, who the hell knew that Reverse Flash could do this? I don't know if he could do this in the comics, or if the Flash can do this in the comics, but wow. I mean, like, okay, that explains, because I wasn't gonna buy the fact that he could run in two places at the same time. It was, I would have let it go, but I'm glad they found another way. I like this explanation a lot more than the explanation that I was thinking they were gonna say, because in the trailers they show, you know, him running back and forth, and so I thought, okay, that's gonna be the explanation, that he could move so fast that no one... But then there's always that blur, right? But then they came up with this explanation that no, he ran so fast that he created a duplicate. That makes more sense to me, and that makes, you know, more of a reasonable excuse on how it all happened. But things get even more crazier. I mean, everything in the last half hour just got crazier and crazier, and literally the last 20 minutes just like exploded my mind. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I couldn't process it all right away. It was just like insane things. Sisko gets killed by Wells. Wells reveals everything. Sisko is heartbroken about this. And even Wells, he's like, I was looking at you like a son. Or, it was like he's grown all this time. We've grown as an audience to really like Wells and, really like his mysterious side. But, so it's like he's betraying us too, because we like this character so much, and we didn't really, deep down, I didn't really want to see Wells turn evil, but I knew something like this was gonna happen, but not to this extreme that he would even kill Sisko. I mean, wow, man. And then Barry at the end revealing his identity to Iris, and then kissing her and zooming off right in front of her. I mean, oh my god. And then we have, oh man, the biggest thing about the episode. Barry runs so fast that he ends up back in time, because in the beginning of the episode, we saw Barry running and he saw himself. Remember that? And so I'm thinking like, okay, so what's going on here? And then we see at the end of this episode, I was wondering when that was going to happen. And then they ended it off with him ending up in the past the day before or the night before, right? So it was insane. I could not believe this episode. The last half hour just blew my mind. If it was gonna go the way that the first half hour, if the tone of the first half hour, I would have said that, okay, maybe this episode is going to get a 7 or an 8 out of 10 from me. But then the way it ended, I had to give it a 9 out of 10. I really enjoyed this episode a lot, especially the last half hour. It was really great and worth it. And, the wait was worth it, because we had to wait like 2-3 weeks. It was great. It was a great episode, guys, and I really enjoyed everything that was going on towards the end. And, you gotta appreciate the build-up, too, because they were clearly building up to this moment. And it worked out. It worked out really well. I really enjoyed it. And I can't wait for next week for all of this to be revealed. Like, we still don't have information on Grodd, but we know Reverse Flash is working with him. And, that was a cool thing, too. I should mention before I sign off. When Wells was revealing himself to Sisko, he said that, he was Eddie, because they both share the same last name. He was a distant, a relative of Eddie from the future. So, I mean, how far into the future do you think he's related to him? Like, he could be his grandson or great-grandson, or even his son, who knows? Or maybe even, like, who knows, 10 generations down. He could be anything for all we know. We don't know how far from the future, Eobard, or whatever his name is, comes from, I'm still going to call him Wells, just to make it more simple for me. And yeah, I mean, man, this was a great episode, especially to reveal that it was going to be about Wells. It was also about Joe too, but Joe's resolution, we never really got that at the end. He was captured by Mark Martin, so we have to, I don't know, man. I think whatever Barry's going to do back in time, I think he's going to change some things, which will give us a hint at what might be happening down the road. It's going to be really cool, definitely, and I can't wait for next week, man. I can't wait for next week. So, guys, I'm going to end this right here and now before I drag on and talk about how great this episode was. I'll just be repeating myself at this point. And until next week, guys, take care.